Virgo Ascendant, Virgo Rising, how are you? I am well. Glad to be here with you, touching in, talking about the frequencies. October. October is a game-changing month, the setup for November, where we have a lot of things happen and they're in earth energy. Energy is your material world. It's the things that you can hold, things you can look at, that you see, right? We think about the beginning, the first earth sign, and it's Taurus energy. And what's Taurus? It's your money. The next earth sign is Virgo. And what's Virgo? Work, your day-to-day routines, things that you put here and you put there and you organize and you have a place for these things. Like that's Virgo energy. It's domestic. It's being organized in the house. It's being creative, knowing how to put things together to accomplish something. It's how to in the tangible, the material how to. The next sign of earth is Capricorn. And for Capricorn energy, major players there. Jupiter and Saturn, Pluto, all going direct, all moving forward. And this changes our physical world. Capricorn energy, Capricorn is cardinal, it's earth. Capricorn earth energy is our tangible material world, but it is our tangible security. Things that we hold on to, the things that are near and dear to us, the objects that give us security, our job, our resources, our ambitions, our goals, but they're 3D. They're things we can see, we can touch. All this happening in earth energy will affect you very personally because you're an earth sign. Virgo is mutable earth, is that how to organize, how to put things in their place. You know, like you want to piss a Virgo off, move something out of place. The things that make sense, right? That make it make sense. A Virgo saying, make it make sense. Everything has a place, and there's a place for everything. It loves projects and daily routines, and it's got lists of projects, right? Lists, always writing lists. Mercury rules the sign. Because it's an earth sign, and we have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, standing still. It actually all begins end of September. Saturn in Capricorn stands still. The beginning of October, we have Pluto standing still. And so for a Virgo Ascendant, Virgo Rising, your Capricorn energy, where is your Capricorn energy? Is in house number 5. Romance and children, creativity. It's also automobiles. The 4th house is my house, my home. The 5th house is automobiles. But it's also where you take a risk in life. It's having fun with our bodies, being very physical. Having Capricorn in your 5th house, you would like to be within organized sports, where there's competition, right? Competitive sports, but organized, right? So it could even be professional sports because Capricorn energy is all about my highest hopes, goals, and ambitions. Like I keep on climbing. A great placement for a rock climber because they just would find it'd be fun for them. They would like to keep on climbing. There's a sense of touching in. That 5th house is that solar energy, SOULAR, connecting in with something that feeds you. This is that placement, Capricorn in the 5th house. Being involved with children in sports. It's the house of procreation as well. Saturn, Jupiter, Capricorn. Big changes coming. There are changes for your children because it's that house of your children. Changes in your activities for fun. You might even have very recently, you might have started a physical activity. You might have brought back in some sort of a workout routine because Capricorn energy is all about, it's cardinal. So it wants to start something. And in the 5th house, it likes to have fun with its body. And it wants to move and it wants to do something, you know, very much into sports, right? Very much into sports, but it can transcend and go above sports, right? You can take that energy, that physical energy, that ability to create and do something different with it. You could have very creative projects that require you to be very physical, but really getting into the ground and maybe gardening, maybe getting in hammer or nail and some tools out and building something because Capricorn energy is all about building. Loves to build. Did you do building blocks when you were a child? Those Lincoln log things, right? Capricorn's ruler is Saturn energy. And Saturn, yes, it's about building things over a long period of time. So it's not about, you know, just taking a piece of paper and making a paper airplane. It's literally taking something that's hard, because that's Capricorn energy, something that's firm, that's a structure, It's a support beam, so to speak, in the house. That's Capricorn energy. And we can also apply this to our body. When we apply Saturn/Capricorn energy to our body, it's the physical structures of our body. So it's our teeth, our skull, our spine, right? It's even part of knees. Knees also is Capricorn energy. Yeah, it's a little chilly. The weather has changed, the leaves are turning, the winds have shifted, and when that happens, my skull is very sensitive, so as soon as it gets below 70 degrees, I have to have a hat on my head. I just feel more comfortable that way. But this is the winds of change. These are the times we're in, and it's time for change. For your 5th house, you're going to see all these changes. So you might have children who get new work, because Capricorn is work, it's professional work, it's career work. That's what the sign of Capricorn represents. So at the end of September, it'd be very likely that you could hear, if you have children, or if you have people in your life who feel like children, there might be something happening for them. There might be something good that hasn't happened in a long time. There might be a career shift, and it's for the better, because Capricorn Saturn standing still makes a change, and it's an obvious change. At the same time, there can be new rules and structures set up. They've taken on a new job, there's new rules and structures. But that's what Saturn does when it stands still. So on a big scale in our world, in our government, especially if you live in the United States, we have an election coming up. And here we are, end of September into October, a month before an election, right? We're like on the countdown, the last 30 days. And Pluto's all about power. Pluto is all about changing something at a very deep level, at the root level. So when Pluto changes at the root level, it's changes that you don't see, right? It's like the subconscious changes. But in the 5th house for you, this is very likely. There could be changes in your romance, okay? Think about this, because it's the house of romance. It's the house of how I have fun with my body with somebody else, okay? Being very physical in that way. There could be changes that way, right? Different changes going on in your life. Health could be a focus, a big focus right now, depending upon who you are and whatever else you have going on. But because you've got Capricorn there, you also have Mars squaring your Capricorn energy. And this is a big deal for all of us, regardless of our rising sign. It's a big deal. Mars energy, Mars represents our body. And so it's the body squaring your ability to be athletic. It's the body squaring your ability to be very physical at this time, right? So you may find there's challenges that you weren't feeling recently or that you had before and now they've come back. And this is typical because Mars is going to be squaring all your Capricorn stuff all the way until January of 2021. So it's the rest of the year, okay? And depending upon if you have something at certain degrees in your Capricorn energy, you could feel this a lot stronger than some people. Some people just feel that they're tired, right? That they're worn out. They can't do as much. But other people, if you have planets there, right, in your natal chart, this could be a much bigger deal, be squaring something. And it could be where you really, just tend to it. Get it checked out. Whatever you do, just get it checked out. Okay, Virgo, so the energies of that 11th house and having the Cancer energy there, meaning you are really, like the people who you're friends with, having Cancer there, typically wherever Cancer is, because its ruler is the moon. These are past live friendships. These are bonds that you have with folks who you have energetic bonds from other lifetimes. Now, that may bother some folks when you hear that. An easier way to wrap your mind around it can simply be there is family heritage connections, okay? So you can say, yeah, we're both from the old country, right? Or our parents are from the old country. Our parents are from the same location. Our grandparents are from the same location. And so there's this commonality. There's this feeling, this familiarity of family, of unity. And that is the sign of Cancer. It's the nurturing, it's family, it's this being with your own tribe. And in the 11th house, which is also a placement of being with one's own tribe, it's a place where it's a group of people. And so there's this special connection that you have with individuals. And you may not even be aware of it. It just kind of happens. It just kind of works. And it's all good. You probably have a really beautiful relationship with people that you put in that bucket of friendship. And so I like this. However, what you need to know is because of Mars going backwards, right? Because Mars is going to be here in the Arian energy going backwards. And your 11th house is over here. So it creates this 90-degree angle. And a 90-degree angle is stress and tension. So from now until, let's just put it like this. Mars is going to be squaring that location of your life until January, okay? Because Mars won't leave. Mars goes into Taurus in January of 2021, okay? And when that happens, we'll do another video. We'll talk about more about that then. But realizing that there is going to be that friction when you're in groups, all right? Because these could even be people that you just get together with that you're not necessarily really close with, where they feel like family, those kind of friends. But anytime you're in a group, right, in group environment. So this could be people you even work with. Sometimes there are people that we work with that feel like family, and that would be part of this picture as well. And most definitely is, because when we're the location of Mars, here in Aries energy, it squares with Cancer energy up here at 90 degrees, and it squares with Capricorn energy down here at 90 degrees. It's called a T-square in a chart. So what that means is it's home and work, stress and tension, like my energy, who they are, it's all getting squared up. And that's uncomfortable, but just recognize this too shall pass. That's the beautiful guarantee. It's what I love about astrology, is it shows us that whatever predicament you're in at the moment, it's not going to be forever. It eventually, even with Pluto, eventually it will change. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, all standing still in your Capricorn energy, big changes. And they could be very, very, very positive changes for you as well, because Capricorn trines Virgo. It sends a beautiful, sweet trine to your ascendant. There could be a lot of beneficial things that happen. It all depends upon what the number is on your rising sign, okay? So because we have 3 big boy planets between 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 degrees right now, there's a concentration of change with Earth. And it's a professional change. It's not just professional, but it can also be with government and big businesses, okay, and career, because it's all the big boys in Capricorn. And Capricorn is that one that's at the top, the one that's in charge. So in charge of the government, in charge of at where I work, in charge of my home, right? The person who's at the top. Big changes, but it trines you, Virgo. It trines your Virgo energy. So find out, do you have something in Taurus as well? Look in your chart if you have a chart. See if you have something in Taurus. If you don't know anything about what I'm talking about and you want me to take a quick peek for you, I do that for free. But I need your birth digits. I can't see your chart unless I have your digits. And that includes everything. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state this month. We have a Mercury retrograde. We have Mercury in Scorpio. It's behind the scenes communication. Mercury can be the detective. I touched on this a little bit ago when I spoke about this in the beginning of the video. And what's going to happen is Mercury's going to go backwards, and it's going to go back into the Libran energy, and then it's going to go forward again, okay? So all you have to know is that pay attention from now, September 23rd to November 3rd. Okay, September 23rd to November 3rd. I know that's the entire time before the election in the United States. What we're doing is we're paying attention to information that's coming out. We're going to be seeing and hearing a lot of stuff, and that's not going to be all, right? Some of it we're going to be like, hey, is that true? Or oh my God, I can't believe that's true. We're going to be hearing a whole lot of stuff. And because Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter were standing still in the government, in business, in those who have a lot of sick power, there is a lot of, okay, enough is enough. We have to set some order. We have to set some rules. We have to set some standards here. We need to, like, all of a sudden there's a reestablishment, more rules, more power, more structure, more, okay, we need to make sure we're doing things by the book, because Saturn asks that. Saturn says it has to be done by the book. So if by now there is anybody, any person, any business, any entity that wasn't doing something by the book, it's kind of like a day of reckoning. Now, we'll see how that plays out, because Mercury's doing a retrograde, okay? And of course, because this retrograde is before an election, and the Mercury retrograde ends on the day of the election, on November 3rd, I am expecting like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because we're already hearing a whole bunch of stuff about, well, if this happens, then this means this was the thing. If this happens, then that means this was the thing. You know, a whole lot of funny and a whole lot of craziness going on. What we're doing is we are realizing that we may never know the truth. Because it's so complex. There's so many layers to all this crap. But Mercury being in Scorpio is the great investigator. Mercury going backwards into Libran energy is all about relationships, significant relationships. But not only Mercury going into Scorpio means the great investigator, but remember what Scorpio energy is. It's our resources, our values, not just my money, but it's our money. Like, hey, I thought we were a team on this. That's what that is. And so when Mercury gets there, we should be able to see who that was. But don't, like all the details, we don't have all the information, and we won't have all that information until November 3rd. End of October, there is another full moon in October. On Halloween, it's October 31st full moon. This is a big full moon, and I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about this. It is a full moon that happens right near the planet Uranus. Now, Uranus represents electricity. It represents air flight, aviation. It represents advancements for humanity, which means devices of all sorts, cars, anything that was created, any sort of an invention that helped humanity. That is Uranus. But don't forget, it's electricity. Okay, so it definitely is all part of the internet and, you know, and all that good stuff, you know, YouTube, social media. It's also astrology. So understanding that we have a full moon conjunct Uranus is one thing, but also that this point, the full moon happens approximately at 8:38 in Taurus, 8 degrees, 38 minutes in Taurus. Now, I realize I didn't talk about the new moon for you, and I will make a quick mention of that for you because I want to tell you where it happens in your life and to make sure that you're making a wish for that. The full moon, though, at the end of October, being on top of Uranus, understanding that point is also an eclipse point, okay? And that eclipse point involves your values, your resources, your tangible values. But it's also who you love. It's your relationships, right? Because it's Venus energy. It's what I love, what I value, who I value, myself. Am I part of that? That's a big deal. So we're all learning how to value ourselves more, how we can't go and do things in our life, how we can't be there for others unless we first take care of ourselves. Uranus is about shocks and surprises. The words for Uranus are expect the unexpected, right? It's the surprise. It's the Big Ben alarm clock going off, or the fire siren in the middle of the night waking you in your sleep. That is Uranian energy, okay? It doesn't mean that it has to be horrible. The only way to know if how big of a deal this would be in your life is if you have something that squares it in your chart. So a square would be, look at your Leo energy and look at your Aquarius energy. And that would be at the same degrees of the full moon. If the full moon's at 8:38, so we're looking at Leo at 8:38 and we're looking at Aquarius at 8:38. Now, there is a 2-degree orb I would give, okay? So that would mean 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in Leo, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in Aquarius, all right? And if you have a planet, right, or some other important aspect or point in your chart, like a planetary angle, this could be difficult, all right? Now, if you want me to take a look again, just comment your stuff to me and say, gee, can you take a quick peek? The more charts I look at, the more I learn. And it really is an ongoing process for me. And I appreciate it. I appreciate this community. I appreciate the rapport and the comments. That is where I learned the most about you, about how you take something in and then how you express it, how you use your free will. A big factor when it comes to new moon time. New moons are times of intention, are times of prayer. The new moon happens on the 16th of August for all of us. It's at 23 degrees and 53 minutes in the sign of Libra energy. Now, this is fascinating because Libra's ruler is Venus, okay? And when I talked about that full moon at the end of the month, I said, that second one, the one in Taurus energy, Taurus's ruler is also Venus. So there's a big emphasis on our values. There's a big emphasis on love and relationships, on my significant others, and our values. Because this new moon in Libra is all about business relationships, love relationships, marriage, partnerships. Libran energy at 23 degrees and 53 minutes. So for you, when we look at your Libran energy, second house, money, moolah, cha-ching. Libran energy, understanding that there's a new moon there means it is time of power, time of prayer, time to set your intentions on what you want going forward, knowing and understanding what you value. Venus in the second house means you have an opportunity to make money with partnerships. When you make sure that you're taking care of people, when there's this one-on-one, a consultation going on, you can make money. Consultations, you can make very good money. Make sure that if you already aren't doing something that involves you utilizing a skill set that you have, something that is beautiful, that is innate within you, that you could offer to others and say, hey, I know how to do this. Like, I'm really good at this. If you need this, I'm here. You would excel at this because you have Libra in that house. You have Libra in your house of money. And Libra is about things being fair and balanced, and you have a way with people. You have a way with connecting in with them and understanding what they need, what they're looking for, what they value. When we move forward together and we stay focused, we can make it work. We can take what we want and excel and elevate. We can listen to the frequencies. We can fly in the ethers. Hone in on who you are. Hone in on your speciality. Hone in on taming the ego with Mars, understanding we don't want it to get us into trouble. We don't want to be fighting. We want to pick and choose and be strategic. We want Mars to graduate. We want Mars to elevate. That is what we're really doing. That is the big picture of this time. In November, what we have coming is Neptune. I know this just came in. I had no plan. Neptune is going to be squaring the North Node. The North Node in Gemini represents our ability to talk, to relate, to think, and communicate. Neptune is the great dissolver. It can make things disappear. So when they square, this means it makes life a little bit challenging, a little bit stressful. The North Node in Gemini is all about my community, people who are close to me, my neighbor, my siblings. That's Gemini energy. So if Neptune and Gemini energy are squaring, and if Neptune can make something disappear, know in advance there may be changes with people who are in your community. Your community may start looking different. This also is social media. And we're already seeing it where certain social medias in the United States are being banned. Like, we're not allowed to download certain apps anymore. So this is a taste of that. We'll see on how big of a scale this gets, but I also cannot let you go without reminding you that Gemini energy is also our ability not only to talk, but to breathe, to speak. It is our lungs. And so Neptune also is the pandemic. So recognizing that them squaring means there's a very good likelihood we may feel this as the second wave. Some folks don't even know if they got the first wave, depending upon where they live, starting the 26th of October. Actually, from the 26th of October for the following few months for the winter. Well, it depends upon where you are in the world, but from October, November, December, January, February, those are times when these two are still squaring each other. So I would recommend highly that we are being diligent in being physically smart, physically healthy, taking care of our mental health, taking care of our spiritual health, taking care of our gut health, taking care of our hygiene, making sure we are constantly on point with our health routines and our health habits. We can do this. All we got to do is focus. We can move forward. We can be smart. We can be diligent. We will use the power of our intentions. We use the power of our mind, and together we can elevate. Together, anything is possible.